coming to you live. This is Zachary Deloney's podcast. This podcast is under fair use, and anything that I say is for fair use purposes. So that much said, I'm gonna get on with this broadcast. Hey, the title of it is "Do Anti-Social Justice Warriors Have Better Things to Do Than Complaining About Everything?" Because that's all they do, all the time. It's a problem this, or it's a problem that, or there's a problem with this, or there's a problem with that. They bitch and complain. The rebel media, they bitch and they complain. They call life is not fair. If you believe in certain shit that you believe in, then that's fine. Me, on the other hand, I believe that people should have a right to say what they want to say. And I'll go to the short video, that we have. Hold on just a second. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. We're gonna go right a second. When it comes to different opinions about certain stuff, especially when somebody researched the matter, and instead of researching the matter itself, he go and attack people because either A, you can't refute what they saying by using other science anecdotes, and then refute, or you just don't want to listen to somebody. Excuse me. You don't want to listen to somebody have a difference of opinion. So I'll walk you through this video and hear what Blair White be doing to this individual. Why I say they don't have no business being on the internet if they don't have productive time. So hold on just a second. And I'm gonna go for the response. So here we go.
It's absolutely mind-numbing.
You know that I'm pretty vocal about being against children transitioning. And a lot of people seem to come out of the woodwork to disagree with me on this, which is totally fine. I mean, you're allowed to be wrong.
Let's look at her smug. Let's look at her smug face.
You're allowed to be wrong.
She basically, you said I'm allowed, or we allowed to be wrong. What the fuck? That's being so. I don't know what to say, but let's hear what she had to say.
What is wrong with you? Like, actually, what is your problem? What makes a person act like this? I am fascinated by whatever has gotten into people lately. What is this? Folks, I know that Blair White saw my videos. She was arguing with people in the comments. So she had every opportunity to be exposed to dozens of medical sources emphasizing the important role of puberty blockers in the health of trans youth. I spoon-feed this information to people. She could have clicked on one link and learned enough to understand why nearly everything in her first video was wrong. She had the chance to inform herself if she chose, but she didn't. So this is not merely a difference of perspective or opinion. She is lying to you. Blair White, when you dismiss reality, you end up living in opposite world, where safe and effective medical treatment is child abuse, but withholding medically necessary treatment from a child is somehow the virtuous choice. The American Academy of Pediatrics can say otherwise, the American Psychiatric Association can say otherwise, the American Medical Association's Journal of Ethics can say otherwise, but you, Blair White, know the truth. Decades of rigorous medical research have nothing on you. You know what that's called? That's called being a special snowflake. You're so special that you can ignore entire fields of research because acting outraged for attention makes you feel good. You and your audience are a tag team of mutually reinforcing ignorance. These are the kind of people who will look at extensive medical evidence and professional statements and hold this to the highest of standards, then turn around and line up to let one clueless trans woman pipe at disinformation into their brains with no resistance whatsoever. You need to understand something. Your viewers aren't there for you. They're just in it for the ready-made excuses for transphobia that you provide to them. The appeals to people's common and wrong intuitions, the evocative label of child abuse, which makes people feel things so strongly that they forget to think, the comfort of being reassured that there will never be any challenges to their simplistic beliefs about the proper order of the world. In other words, feels over reals. You can ignore science, medicine, any part of reality you want, if it makes you feel better. That's what you offer, and apparently transphobes eat it right up. Because transphobes are dipshits. I mean, look at what you're doing here. You basically just taught 1/3 cis people the most blatant falsehoods about transgender youth for no reason other than to get cheap attention from ignorant assholes. How can that even feel good? It's easy for you to be this reckless because you know you're never going to help pick up the pieces. Do you understand how long it takes to clean up after this kind of thing? The half-life of rumors, like the one you're promoting, is measured in decades. To this day, trans people face rejection from family members who believed whatever they were told about an outcome study from Johns Hopkins in the 1970s. A study that was debunked the year after it was published. A study that's been contradicted by all reputable studies since. A study that continues to circulate in the guise of objective fact because it makes transphobes feel good. Every one of these hoaxes is a roadblock in the path to a better future for us. You are directly contributing to this, and you obviously don't care. Your pretended moral concern for trans people is utterly superficial, because you treat misinforming the public like it's some kind of harmless recreational activity. But when you do this, you are creating parents who will prevent their transgender children from receiving safe, effective, and medically necessary treatment. You are guaranteeing that more trans people will be made to suffer. When you had the opportunity to be heard by 300,000 cis people, that is what you told them to do. You didn't tell them how to help us. You didn't even tell them to leave us alone. You showed them how to make our lives worse. I don't know why you think this is okay. I don't know why anyone thinks this is okay. It's nothing but evil for the sake of evil. You're working to make children's lives worse in defiance of all medical consensus. Why? Is it really worth whatever you're getting out of this? I'm disgusted. You should be ashamed of yourself.
And that much said, that's what they be doing in their free time. What they do in their free time is they go and find a low grade feminist or SJW, bombard them with stuff, either to say they sorry, they didn't mean to do it, or whatnot. So what y'all doing? I'm gonna link that one over to the description below. My description below. You know, because all they doing is complaining. Yeah, I'll show you another video from, say, these people don't have no life. These motherfuckers don't have no life. I'll show you another one. Hold up. And I'll tell you why they don't have a life. Look at what they doing.
Hello, everyone, and rather than do a response to Michael Rowlands and all the other SJWs that have been parroting this whole line about how there's more than two biological sexes because this, that, and the other.
And if they want to think like that, then let them think like that. That's why they have parents, children have a mother and a father to tell them otherwise. Trying to be the moral police. Let's continue.
I'm going to ask them a question because I found something very interesting about this whole thing, and I think it needs to be asked. Now, usually they will tell us to prove to them that there are only two sexes, even though they are the ones that initially made the extraordinary claim that there are more than two biological sexes. Now, let's just get into those claims very, very quickly now, shall we? So the first thing is, there's more biological sexes because trans people exist. Because trans people exist, therefore, there is more.
Do you have anything else better to do with your time than to try to debunk people because of what they feel? Really, do you have time?
Two sexes, even though we know that trans people are called trans people because they transition between one to another. It could be male to female and vice versa. So that actually makes it a binary, does it not? Because that's what trans means. But then they will just say, but what about non-binary, gender fluid, gender queer, and all those other things? Well, they don't exist. They're not assigned.
And that when you need to stop doing it. If you know it, if they know it, if your opposition know it, that should be between you and your opposition. But you going and telling them how they should feel, how they should identify as, you something else. You a piece of work.
Scientifically proven to have existed, which, by the way, we'll get to that in just a little while longer. So those things don't exist. Those are just things that people say that they are, but.
And what's wrong with them identifying with something that's not the norm, that you don't think that they are? Why? Because you want people. The irony of this motherfucker.
They aren't actually. In fact, they may well be confusing gender expression for gender identity or some kind of actual gender, when in fact it isn't. It could be that they're simply tomboys, but for some reason they call themselves genderqueer because they have short hair or they wear men's clothes, which.
They talk to them in a respectable manner, and maybe you'll learn something. But when you talk to them disrespectfully, get disrespect back.
Is not a new gender. It's not even a sex. So that's the first thing that puts their argument to bed immediately. The second thing, and this is their trump card, and that is, intersex people exist. Therefore, there is more than two genders. But intersex people are born with XX and XY chromosomes. And the thing that makes them.
Do you have a life?
Female is, of course, a Y chromosome, all that. Breed with each other, and there's no requirement for opposite sex in order to do so. Human intersex people are not like that. They are simply men and women who are born with genetic abnormalities. They tend to have actually be there, and for most of them, this tends to become less of an issue for them. In fact, these genitals become useless around about puberty or the end of puberty. This is for most of the chromosome thing, which again can simply be proven by the fact about Y chromosomes, whether they're there or not. And this is about things like Turner syndrome and Down syndrome.
You don't have a life. All you making money is off of this, which is gross. If you hate them, why you keep on making videos over and over and over and over and over about it? It's stupid.
Other things like that. Basically, these disorders are caused by chromosomal abnormalities. So a woman who has Turner syndrome, and women only have Turner syndrome, as far as I know, have XXX chromosomes, and I think Down syndrome people have another different thing as well. But the fact of the matter is, it can only happen to women because those, both men and women, well, it would probably end gender then, a different sex, because they can't have babies. People with Asperger's must be a different sex because we are socially different because of our abnormality. Should actually lie is on the people who make the extraordinary claim. We're not the ones making the extraordinary claim here. We're the ones that are saying, well, this is the scientific consensus of the last God knows how many millennia. There are only two sexes. They're saying there's more. So my question to you, Michael, and SJWs in general, prove to me that there are more than two sexes. Give me evidence. Have you got actual, verifiable science that backs your claim? No intersex people, because we've been proven that that doesn't prove your point. No people with chromosomal disorders, that doesn't prove your point either. And what else? Oh yes, trans people don't prove your point either, because they go from one to another. Give me evidence that non-binary people, genderqueer people, stuff like that exist. Show me that it exists. Because remember, the burden of proof is on you, not us, because we're not the ones making extraordinary claims here. As
Okay, why they have to prove anything to y'all for something because of a fact of the matter is, if you accept it, you accept it. You don't, you don't. They don't have to prove shit. Like, you don't have to prove shit either. So, get out your high horse.
Carl Sagan once said, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So this is a message to you guys. Prove it to me. Send it to me in a video, send it to me in a tweet, or your journals, your evidence, stuff like that. And we'll put this issue to bed. Come on, what are you waiting for? You love a little bit of scientific debate, don't you? What have you got to lose? Apparently we're the creationists, not you. So go on, I'm laying the gauntlet down. So until next time, people, I'll see you later.
You see how they don't have nothing better else to do with their time but to fuck with other people. I'm gonna say it like this to Charming Man, to Blair, to all these people that it is. If you don't like what an individual has to say or what to say or how to say it, do everybody a favor. Leave them alone. You already made videos after videos after video after video after video after video after video trying to get them to cooperate, but it's failing miserably because of the fact of the matter is y'all wasn't nice to them. Y'all call them names and shit like that, and people don't like to be called names. Sorry. And this is what I'm gonna end it at. People that are anti-social justice, do y'all have anything else better with your time than to fuck with other people? Call them names and say, oh, you in your field, I don't mean it like that. If it is, go fuck yourself. Da, 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 da. I'm not mean. Da, 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 da. Treat everybody the way you want to be treated. You come to somebody fucked up and yelling and suspect them to come back fucked up to you. Don't sit here and say, oh, they always do this. It's like the boy who cried wolf. I'm out. I'm done.